Star Trek just made Pike's girlfriend exactly like Strange New Worlds captain. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds first introduced Captain Christopher Pike, played with easy charisma by Anson Mount, fans were immediately drawn to his blend of empathy, confidence, and quiet leadership. Pike wasn't the swaggering cowboy of James T. Kirk or the stoic philosopher of Jean-Luc Picard. He was the kind of captain who listened before acting, who treated his crew as equals, and who led not through authority, but through trust. It's part of what's made him one of the most beloved captains in modern Star Trek. But in a surprising twist, Star Trek has just made Pike's on-again, off-again girlfriend, Captain Battle, eerily similar to him in both temperament and story arc. What began as a romantic subplot in Strange New Worlds has evolved into one of the most fascinating mirrors the franchise has built. Two captains with parallel values, similar command styles, and increasingly entangled fates. It's as if Strange New Worlds has created a second version of its lead, one who stands outside the Enterprise but reflects everything Pike represents within it. And in doing so, Star Trek may have given Captain Battle one of the richest, most underappreciated arcs in the entire modern franchise, the captain who mirrors the captain. From the very start, Captain Marie Battle was presented as Pike's professional equal. Introduced as the commanding officer of the USS Cayuga, she was confident, direct, and entirely comfortable standing toe-to-toe with one of Starfleet's most respected figures. She wasn't there to be another admiring subordinate or love interest orbiting the Enterprise. Instead, she was a captain with her own ship, her own command decisions, and her own flaws. Yet as the series has progressed, Batel's development has subtly mirrored Pike's evolution. Both captains embody Star Trek's vision of leadership through compassion. Pike often leads by example. He's approachable, diplomatic, and willing to put himself at risk for his crew. Battle, in much the same way, has shown a similar devotion to those under her command. In her appearances, she's been decisive yet deeply human, balancing the duty of a Starfleet officer with a capacity for empathy that's rare even among captains. In a sense, Strange New Worlds has built Battle to be a reflection of Pike's core philosophy. She's not a counterpoint like Kirk, whose impulsiveness contrasts with Pike's caution, nor a bureaucratic foil from Starfleet Command. Instead, Battle represents what Pike might have been under slightly different circumstances, a captain with the same ideals, but forced to make different compromises. Two sides of the same Starfleet coin. The most telling comparison between Pike and Battle comes from their shared sense of moral integrity. Pike famously lives with the knowledge of his future, his doomed fate aboard a cadet training vessel. It's a secret burden, but it shapes how he treats people and how he sees his own time in command. His compassion is sharpened by tragedy. He leads knowing every moment could be his last. Battle, meanwhile, has faced her own tests of integrity. She's often put in the uncomfortable position of enforcing Starfleet rules that conflict with Pike's moral instincts, most notably when she had to arrest Una Chin Riley for concealing her Illyrian heritage. The conflict between Battle and Pike in that storyline revealed that both captains are defined by their principles. Pike's loyalty to his crew clashed with Batel's loyalty to the uniform, but neither was wrong. It was a rare Star Trek moment where love and duty collided without either side losing the moral high ground. In that moment, Battle became more than Pike's romantic subplot. She became a moral reflection of him, faced with the same impossible choices, but forced to uphold the other side of Starfleet's ideals. Pike chose personal loyalty, Battle chose institutional duty, and that dynamic only made their relationship more complex, more adult, and more emblematic of Strange New Worlds' mature storytelling approach. The Pike of another ship. One of Star Trek's quiet strengths has always been its ability to expand its universe through characters who embody different interpretations of its ideals. Pike represents the heart of Starfleet, the compassionate leader. Battle, however, represents the practical face of it, the captain who must maintain the institution that Pike occasionally bends. Their relationship highlights how Starfleet's values can sometimes contradict themselves. Pike's version of Starfleet prioritizes people over protocol. Batel's version prioritizes the system that keeps those people safe. Both are necessary, and both come with a price. In many ways, Battle is to Pike what the Cayuga is to the Enterprise. Smaller, more constrained, but still driven by the same spirit of exploration and integrity. Her storylines remind viewers that Pike's ideals don't just exist aboard the flagship. They echo throughout Starfleet in officers who share his moral courage, even when their paths diverge. When the Cayuga was destroyed during the Gorn assault in Season 2, The loss hit Pike on both personal and symbolic levels. He didn't just lose Patel's ship, he lost a reflection of his own command. The destruction of the Cayuga underscored the emotional stakes of Strange New Worlds. That Pike's compassion, while powerful, can't always protect those who share his worldview. A love story built on equals. What makes the relationship between Pike and Battle so refreshing is that it's built on mutual respect. In a franchise that's often struggled with romantic subplots for its captains, Strange New Worlds finally found a pairing that feels natural. There's no hierarchy between them, no imbalance of power or professional dependency. They're equals in every sense of the word. Two captains who understand the burdens of command better than anyone else could. That equality allows the writers to explore emotional depth rarely seen in Star Trek romances. Pike doesn't have to explain himself to Battle. She already knows what it's like to make life and death calls. Similarly, Battle doesn't need to soften her edges to fit Pike's story. She has her own arc, her own command, and her own moral compass. Their relationship also serves a narrative function beyond romance. It allows Strange New Worlds to explore what leadership looks like from two sides of the same organization. Through Pike and Battle, the show asks, how do captains maintain humanity in a system that demands perfection? How do they balance personal attachment with professional duty? Every time they're together, their conversations carry the weight of those questions. When Pike worries about his fate, Battle grounds him. When Battle makes tough calls that put her at odds with Pike, he reminds her that compassion isn't weakness. Together, they embody Star Trek's central philosophy, that strength lies not in power or command, but in empathy and understanding. The Gorn War changes everything. The latest episodes have taken the dynamic even further. Patel's infection by the Gorn and her transformation into a hybrid of sorts places her in a new, tragic position, one that echoes Pike's own sense of destiny. Just as Pike is fated to suffer a future he can't escape, Battle now faces an internal enemy that may destroy her from within. This shared sense of doomed inevitability binds them together more than ever. Both now live under ticking clocks, caught between duty and mortality. For Pike, loving Battle means facing yet another version of the same pain he's already internalized, the inability to save someone he loves from a fate written in advance. But symbolically, the Gorn storyline cements Patel's status as Pike's mirror. Where Pike's tragedy is one of physical sacrifice for others, Patel's is one of personal corruption by forces beyond her control. Both represent the high cost of being Starfleet's moral center in a universe where compassion often collides with survival. Why making Battle like Pike matters. At first glance, turning Pike's girlfriend into a reflection of his own character might seem like an odd creative choice. After all, stories thrive on contrast, not similarity. But Strange New Worlds uses that mirroring to deepen its exploration of Pike's humanity. By showing us another captain who thinks, feels, and leads the way he does, the show reinforces just how rare and how vital Pike's kind of leadership is in the Star Trek universe. Battle shows us what those same values look like outside the Enterprise. She proves that,